Liam Schimmelbusch. Two players have dropped out of the North Melbourne team, Buckley and Sean Smith, and they've been replaced by Steele and Clarkson. The first free kick goes to Hawthorn. On a perfect day for football, and Lawrence getting his hands on it immediately.
And Martin Bruce is at full back or full forward. He was a good player last week for North at full back. Lawrence,
Longmire in front of Dunstall, and should have got a free kick. Didn't quite hold the mark. It's extraordinary circumstances here to think that Longmire, who in the last 2 seasons has kicked over 90 goals on each occasion, is starting on Dunstall. Good play by Gowers, but excellent play by German. And North Melbourne through half-back to centre wing. Good take there by Carey. Expecting big things again from him this year. The drop punt towards centre-half forward. McCarthy caught out of position. Jenke was with him. An opportunity here for Allison, the handball. Here's Martin sitting and waiting, looking for a free kick in the end. A good tackle there on Pritchard by North Melbourne. Martin again got a high one. Play on called. A hard ball to win. Going to ground was Anning, the new player, and Collins with a high one back in towards the centre square.
Players running underneath it, and a great mark taken there by number 17, Paul Hudson. He's had a dirty week last week, but plays on quickly out towards Allen. Going wider is Allen towards the flank. Crocker, Jarman. It's Crocker onto it first. Can he do something with it? Desperation gets a handball away in the direction of Fairley. In turn to centre wing Fairley. Allison spins, a great spin. Rock, a courageous little fellow, ducks and weaves, then gets out in his own, comes back in towards centre half forward. Dwyer underneath, but Martin has the ball punched away by Langford. Platten, Ayres. A scramble, and it's Platten who comes out with it. Maybe the umpire should have bounced, but continually played on. Bouncing off his shoal, in towards Martin. Collins over the back. Dwyer can't control it. A lot of pressure out there as the ball is deemed to be a penalty in favour of Hawthorn. It's being taken by Andrew Collins on the 50-metre line.
Goes short, looks for Anderson, who's got some space at centre half back. Straight down the centre, to centre half forward. Brereton with a great grab. First week back for Dermot, playing on Richard Dennis.
That was a great mark by Brereton, and he really was out of position, but he managed to just slightly nudge Dennis out of the way, and he took that great grab over his head.
Well, he's had all sorts of problems, been well documented, and hasn't been able to play this season. 45 metres out, drop punt, familiar sight, straight through. The Hawks score the first goal.
He's a wonderful player, Dermot Brereton. He's been out of action for the last 2 weeks, and to come back, he really does give the Hawthorn forward line a lot of bite. He's a very accurate kick, especially within the 50-metre radius.
Peter Cameron and Darren Goldspink in charge today. Peter Cameron to bounce the ball. Gallagher, Lawrence. Lawrence got it down. In dispute. Platten underneath as he usually is. Hudson running onto the ball. Can't control it. Anderson off the ground. Crocker in front. Plays on quickly. A handball out towards Rock. Rock in turn going wide out towards Allison. Away from Condon is Allison. He's on his favourite foot, the left one. Spearing it in towards Carey at centre half forward. Can't control it, and the ball will be thrown in on the half forward flank, some 70 metres around from the North Melbourne goal. North Melbourne kicking to the right of screen. Carey will do the ruck work, number 18, with Lawrence. Madigan in front, 31, punched away by Lawrence, but cut out by Spargo, a high ball, looking for nobody in particular. In fact, it has gone over the boundary line into the second row of the new southern stand.
Don, I was just looking at Anthony Condon there a minute ago. It's going to be very tough to play. He's back in the side for his first game this season on a very hot day, and he's probably going to be short of match condition.
Ball centre wing. Rock again running onto the ball. The little fellow picking up a number of possessions early in the game. Scholl, the best and fairest winner at North Melbourne last year, with Martin in towards half forward flank. Condon in front, butted up by Collins, well up from the back pocket. Looking for nobody in particular, and finds Peter German,
who also had a very good year for North Melbourne in 91. His kick to centre wing. Bad miss there by Larkin, the captain. Didn't look all that difficult. 3 times the best and fairest at North Melbourne. So one of their most celebrated players. Lawrence and Gallagher against one another. Gallagher probably got the tap. Steele couldn't get away. Anderson got a quick kick towards half forward. Crocker, well played. Took a chance and then bangs it back towards full forward. McCarthy pushed out of the way cleverly by Jenke. A bit too easily for North Melbourne's point of view, and Jenke plays on and then goes wide and finds Lawrence, who was one of the stars in Hawthorn's premiership win last season. Goes short to Pritchard. Some spaces here at the MCG for the Hawks at the moment. Again short, looking for Jarman on that long lead, but Crocker, who's had 3 or 4 touches already, and the ball goes out of play.
It's good to see a player chance his eye as Crocker did on that occasion. He did it earlier, leaving his man and prepared to run at the ball. It's great to see Backman doing that. Gallagher with Deere. Gallagher gets it down, but it's Deere who follows up well. Handball, he initiated. Platten, left foot. It's a high ball towards centre half forward. Brereton underneath. Longmire, Dunstall, ball to ground. Morrissey onto it. Can he do something with it? No, as the ball just about to trickle over the boundary line, and it does be thrown in Hawthorn's right forward pocket.
James Morrissey, nicknamed the Freak, and you almost expect him to kick those sorts of goals, don't you?
Gallagher and Deere to do the ruck work. Gallagher gets it down fairly. Centre half back gets a hurried kick and a safe kick over the boundary line. As you can see there, the 50-metre line, so the ball about 60 metres from the Hawthorn goal. Hawthorn kicking to left of screen. Hawthorn have kicked the one solitary goal. Gallagher and Deere. Nobody really gets that down. Ball again in dispute. Gallagher follows up well, tackles Pritchard, but has he given away a free kick? He has.
Just too far out to score. He'll go short. Dunstall on the lead. Will German cut it off? He does. And then plays on to Longmire. I wonder when he found out he was standing there, Jason Dunstall. Goes wide. Dennis, a quick kick, clever kick. Well played, Dennis, because Brereton was steaming in at him. And he was able to gain 30 metres.
Well, the move of having John Longmire down the fullback line is paying dividends early in the game. He's been the initiator of a couple of moves out of the back line.
So Gallagher and Lawrence lock horns, neither really winning. Hudson trying to break the Steele tackle, then handballs. Here's Crocker again, 3rd time he's taken a chance on Jarman and won the football. Ayres in the front spot. At the back, Carey, good mark, has Larkin running for him. Ayres holds up Carey. Now Martin playing at full forward on Langford. Carey bangs towards the goal square. Jenke getting back.
There's a poor kick by Carey then. He's kicking to his forwards and he's put the ball into place for the Hawthorn defenders, and he really is going to have to kick the ball to the space out in front of the North Melbourne players.
Condon's kick to Gowers at half-back.
Gowers on centre wing, or that's where his name. Kicking this ball from about half-back flank, a high one back towards centre wing. Gallagher underneath, can't control it. Brereton well up the ground, cops one but plays on. Anderson can't quite run onto it. German cuts it out across to Gallagher and turn across to Steele. A late inclusion coming in for Buckley. Carey in front of Ayres, being held by Ayres. Carey as he goes to the ball, and the ball over the boundary line to be thrown in centre wing. Peter Cameron in charge. Darren Goldspink also the man in the centre.
And Darren Steele is picking up Paul Hudson, and Paul Hudson really is going to have to come to terms with these taggers. Each week he's a different guy will be assigned the task of cutting Paul Hudson out of the game, and he really is going to have a tough season this year in the AFL.
Well, Carey caught with his pants down then as he looked, and Madigan got it down. Anderson's got the ball. He travels it in towards full forward, but Longmire again has beaten Dunstall on the occasions the ball has come down early in this match. He's beaten him in front and now from behind. Plays on towards centre half forward. Scholl gets the ball away despite the duress of the Hawthorn forwards. Smith. Steele will run onto it. Allen in pursuit. Quick kick, Ayres. Can't trap the ball. Carey coming out. Spargo over the top of Madigan and the ball. No, there's a free kick.
Yeah, free kick for charging.
Spargo, and to take the ball, Greg Madigan, the centre half back for Hawthorn.
He was looking for Pritchard, not a good kick. Scholl, almost a fingertip of Platten. Smith should have given a free kick away, and he does. Advantage paid. It goes to Gowers, kicks it to the space. Dennis should take it, and he does. Brereton disappointed with the kick. Dennis plays on across the ground. He needs someone to work for him hard here. Awful kick. Dunstall almost takes a reflex mark. Dennis tries to make up for that indiscretion. Here's Condon. Dennis again puts the tackle on him. North Melbourne might get out of this. Allison's handball was very good to German. Doesn't he love to do this, to run from half-back and then bang the ball towards half-forward? Not a good kick. Martin got a favourable bounce. Not quite good enough to take advantage of it. Ayres comes in with a high tackle, gets away with it. Jenke runs laterally, then steadies, has a chance to go bang and doesn't kick it particularly well. At least finds some space. I guess in the end it wasn't a bad result.
Although there wasn't a great kick to McMartin coming out then from full forward, as a forward, you'd much rather have the ball in front of you rather than up in the air and over the back of you. And the ball did fall short, but at least it gave him a chance to pick the ball up.
Gallagher, Deere, who gets it down as a free kick against Gallagher, going to Paul Deere, the smaller fellow. Uses his body well, Paul Deere, on those throw-ins. Plays on quickly, looking for Brereton, doubles back. Dennis in pursuit. What can Dermott do? Nothing. He takes the ball over the boundary line. And the ball to be thrown in. Some 40 metres from the Hawthorn goal. Left half-forward flank. Deere and Gallagher at it once again. Deere gets it down. Morrissey can't trap it. Battles on. Ball comes out. Platten will run onto this. Rock in pursuit. And Platten goes quickly for the boundary line. Tried to soccer the ball and did soccer it off the ground, but just couldn't quite control it. The free kick going to his counterpart, Anthony Rock.
And Platten normally assigned a tagger, but North Melbourne appear that they haven't tagged Platten, and Rock is roving for North Melbourne.
Centre wing, Carey. Lawrence over the back. Can he? No, he can't take it down. Ayres butters up. Smith onto Ayres very quickly. Dwyer across to Scholl. Can he get his kick? Quickly he does as Anderson comes onto him. Leading in the race of the ball is Jenke. McCarthy behind. Gets his kick, Jenke. But over the boundary line, good harassment by McCarthy as the free kick will go to Anthony Dwyer for North Melbourne.
Sometimes all you need is just that little bit of pressure, isn't it, to force the player to make the mistake.
Centres it to Martin, outnumbered. Big fly at the back from Langford. Quick kick away by Rock. A bouncing ball. Langford did it very well, and so did Collins. Some reflex there to Lawrence, to Platten, to Anderson. Hawthorn at its very best in that bit of movement. Anderson's high one to centre half forward. Crocker, good mark against Jarman. Playing very well with confidence.
It was a terrific mark then by Crocker.
So from centre half back, drop punt. Carey the target versus Mannigan. I think North Melbourne would fancy Carey one out against Mannigan. Lawrence gets back, no free kick. Platten goes without it. Gowers. Platten sits, waits, handballs to a space. Free kick against North Melbourne. A charge by Carey on Platten. And that was pretty silly by Carey because North was in the box seat.
A relayed free kick. The relay kick only going, or hand pass only going 5 metres, but nonetheless it's with Hawthorn. Ayres will see the ball over the boundary line. And Anthony Dwyer, number 28, in pursuit of Ayres. There he is, 31 years of age, Gary Ayres, the captain in his first year at Hawthorn. Over the back, well done by Deere. McDonald on the ground, Gallagher off. McDonald follows up well. Good to see a ruckman do that, and he gets the free kick to boot. Cheers from the North Melbourne crowd as McDonald centres the ball towards the centre half forward position. Carey used his body well then on Mannigan. Good play. This is a class player. Looks further down the ground for the leading McCarthy, and has he's found him. And a good kick by Carey out in front and allowing McCarthy to run onto that ball with confidence. Now he's about 40. He'll let this ball go from about 45 metres. The angle about the same, 45 degrees. But it shouldn't be a problem because he kicks with his right foot and he will bring it in right to left. No problem with the distance. North Melbourne, their first goal, 1-1 apiece, 6 points.
As Don and North Melbourne really will be expecting big seasons from both Carey and John McCarthy in the forward line if they're to kick on this season. Both players have enormous potential, and I think Carey probably has the most potential of any young player in the league at the moment. He really can tear a game apart.
Scores level at the MCG. McCarthy's goal for North Melbourne after Brereton had goaled early in the quarter for Hawthorn. Lawrence goes, McDonald wins it. Platten snared it very cleverly to Condon, who was moving for him. Goes long. Here's Dunstall versus Longmire again. Well played, German, and good shepherding too, enabling by Crocker, enabling German to get free to Larkin. Just get the feeling North Melbourne are going all right at the moment. Slow handball to Anning, but he was able to get away with it. Quick handball onto Allison at centre wing. Has some time to steady. Bangs a left foot to the pocket. And out on the fall. So always playing the percentage there, Allison. He didn't have a lot of room where he was kicking the ball to the pocket. And Collins to bring it back in. Pretty even contest here. Carey a winner up forward for North Melbourne so far. Centre wing, McDonald, and also Lawrence, a handball by Allison. Now Scholl. High left footer, floater. McCarthy, but well played Collins. Sharp cleverly though by Allison. Went to ground, gets a free kick. 50 metres out.
North players are working very hard to get to the fore of the ball.
Martin now providing a lead with Langford. Goal square vacant. Let's give himself a chance here, Allison. Take a very good kick. He's from 54 metres, drop punt. Geez, kicked it all right. Right to the square. Touched by Hawthorn, forced through from behind. So North Melbourne squeezed to the front at 1-1 to a goal. Low scoring match halfway through this opening term.
Langford to bring the ball in. Experienced fullback is Chris Langford. Decides to go straight down the centre. Who's he looking for? Nobody in particular. Madigan there. Gowers will run onto this ball. There's nobody in pursuit, and from the centre goes wide, holding down the field. Crocker with Jarman. Ball again in dispute, and Fairley leads. Morrissey for the ball. Plays safety first. Handballs it towards the line. Deer in there. 2-on-1 situation. What can Fairley do? He's saved by the boundary line. And a good effort by Ian Fairley, the North Melbourne centre half back. Really beaten is Fairley. Not tall in stature, but plenty of heart. The ball to be thrown in. McDonald gets it down. Spargo quickly down towards the half-forward flank. Oh, it's a high ball. Carey being held by Madigan. Collins, as he does so often, will break up this attack. Now initiates it through Condon. Centre wing. Running onto it is Anderson. A high ball towards centre half-forward. Dunstall, Longmire, ball to ground. Hudson. Looking for options, can't find it. Decides to go himself. What's he done with it? He's kicked it. Hawthorn, 2 goals straight, 12 points. North Melbourne, 1-1-7.
Well, it's good to see Paul Hudson breaking away from his tag early in the game. Darren Steele was in two minds then as to go and attack Paul Hudson. And really, he should have gone in and put some pressure on Paul Hudson. As it was, they all stood back, looking to plug the holes and trying to cover the guys he might have handballed the ball to.
So Hudson's goal puts Hawthorn in front at 2-1. Lawrence goes Hurley and hangs up there. Gowers, well done. Morrissey, German at the back of him. Scholl comes in to put some pressure on. Morrissey's kicked Dennis in the front. Brereton with a run at him. Well played, Dennis in the front spot. German going to ground. Here's Longmire, who started very well. Couldn't quite break the Brereton tackle. McDonald to German with some space. Goes short this time to Larkin in the centre. Sells the handball over towards Steele. Will it sit? It does. He's got a chance to steady. Bang towards Martin and Langford. Not a particularly good kick. Martin just caught off balance. Langford. Lawrence tried to give it away in a hurry. Good harassment there by Allison, I think it was. And it'll be a bounce down to centre half forward.
There was another poor kick into the forward line then by the North Melbourne player. Really, there was space in front of the North Melbourne player, and he really did kick it to the Hawthorn defender.
Yes, Langford in the box seat there against Martin. Madigan over the top. Anning's kicked from centre half forward. Pushed out McCarthy. Was it going to go through for a goal? No, touched. So behind there, and McCarthy looked to cop one in the back there, but not paid.
He was a little bit unlucky not to get a free kick then, I thought, Bruce.
So it's 8-12. North Melbourne 1-2 to Hawthorn 2 goals. Langford to bring it back in.
Looking for options down the ground is Chris Langford. And who does he pick out? Not the man he was looking for. It's Donald McDonald. Came on. Off interchange bench. Donald to replace Michael Gallagher in the ruck. Going for the long bomb. He gets onto a torpedo. What a magnificent kick. That's travelled every bit of 75 metres. Accuracy astray, but what a marvellous kick by Donald McDonald. Langford will bring it in again. North Melbourne 1-3, trailing Hawthorn 2 straight goals, 12 points. Langford straight down the centre once again. Hudson setting himself. flies, can't control it. Spargo will hit the ball hard, he does, gets a handball away. Smith across to Carey from centre half forward. He's kicked it. North Melbourne second, and they're leading Hawthorn by 3 points. 2-3-15. Hawthorn, 2 solitary goals, 12.
Well, I thought perhaps Spargo might have almost thrown that ball out then to Larkin, who got the handball over to Carey, and they're probably perhaps a little bit lucky to get away. Hawthorn persevering and kicking the ball straight down the ground. I think it's obviously a plan that the players come in from the wings and try and get the ball knocked down and straight down the centre of the ground.
North Melbourne lead by 3 points after Carey's goal. And Gallagher's come back on and McDonald on the interchange. Larkin's kicked to centre half forward. Carey chasing. Langford missed it. Kept in play. Is it? Chance for Martin. Pressure put on him. Snapped by Martin as a behind. So North are up to 2-4 to 2 goals. And Tim, you wouldn't think he's the answer to John Longmire as a full forward, though Longmire might be the answer to Martin as a full back.
Well, Longmire's doing very well on Dunstall. Perhaps in the past Dunstall has kicked a few goals on Martin, and North Melbourne's brain trust decided that they'd go a little bit differently this time.
He's only kicked 5 goals, Martin, in his 77 matches. Jenky, so decided
he's a very aggressive player, though, Bruce, and perhaps they decided that what they needed in the full forward line was some more aggression.
Jenky to centre wing. Good mark by Ben Allen, who's got the job on Spargo today.
And plays on quickly to the little fellow. On centre wing is Platt and goes in towards centre half forward. Dunstall has made the break and an easy mark. Well sighted by Platt. Got away from John Longmire, did Dunstall. And now from 45 metres out, that's where he took the mark, but he'll let this ball go from the 50-metre line. A man who was under an injury, kicked 4 goals last week. Ball on its way. It's a high ball. It's hanging there, but direction astray. And Hawthorn have blotted their copybook. That's their first point for the game.
Sorry, Don, I was watching John Longmire. Then when John Platten was running down with the ball, I think for a brief moment there, he actually thought he was the full forward and led out where he thought he wanted to have the ball kicked to, and he forgot all about Dunstall leading straight up the ground.
North Melbourne, German, out towards Carey. Madigan there. Nobody can control it. Condon leading in the race for this ball. Picks it up first. In pursuit is Allison. Condon traps the ball, but it's Allison who plays on quick with a handball out in front of Carey. Collins in pursuit. May have been holding the man. Yes, the umpire has deemed it that way. We've got a clear picture of that. Andrew Collins holding Carey when he didn't have the ball in his vicinity.
Always confuses me a little bit as to what the umpire's interpretation is of gaining possession of the ball.
Now this is a difficult angle actually for Wayne Carey. 45 metres from goal, but as you can see, right on the boundary line. He'll bring this ball in right to left. He's a right foot kick, but nonetheless, there's not much daylight between those big sticks. Steadies as he comes in, lets the ball go. What has he done with this? He's kicked North Melbourne's 3rd goal. North Melbourne 3-3, 3-4, 22. Hawthorn 2-1, 13.
So I watched Wayne Carey here last season at the MCG against Essendon, and up to half-time, the only reason North were in actual distance at all of Essendon was because of Wayne Carey. He really is a terrific player, and he played very well on that day, and he started well again today.
3-4 to 2-1. A couple of goals to Carey at centre half forward. Infringement in the centre square, and it's going to North Melbourne. So just things are working for them at the moment. Gallagher from the centre goes bang. Martin the target. Langford will sit at the back and then come in late, and he did it very well, but only as far as North Melbourne as they go towards the goal, and the kick there was from Scholl. Yeah, thanks guys, and it was out of play. So North continuing to attack. Carey doesn't look 100% fit, Tim. I was just watching him there. He's played very well, but he's hands on his hips and just looked maybe he's tired getting so many kicks. Here's Langford and Martin. Allison ducked his head but did it very well. Squeezes out the Dwyer. He couldn't quite get it off the ground. Ayres with a bit of strength was able to carry Steele and then get the handball away. A poor bounce for Jenky. McCarthy with the opportunity. Shouldn't panic. Here's Smith, got a chance to goal. Left foot straightens up and misses. So North Melbourne had a couple of opportunities there.
the skill of the footballers today, really, Ross Smith should have nailed that goal. It was on his opposite side, but he really should have been able to kick that goal.
Questionable flick on by McCarthy. The umpire deemed that he did it within the rules. And now Hawthorn breakthrough airs to Jenke towards centre wing. Smith nearly covered himself in glory minutes ago, but can't control the ball. Tries to get it across to German. He can't. Gow's running onto it. Hudson over the top, and the free kick will go to Peter German, who plays on quickly out towards Fairley. Fairley, a short ball in towards Dwyer, who had a really good day last week. But the free kick against Platten, as you can see there, Platten jumping into Dwyer, didn't have eyes for the ball and interfered with Dwyer. So Dwyer towards centre half forward. Martin in the front. Can he control it? No, it's Langford. Two full backs fighting against one another. Spargo runs into the open goal and has hit the right goal post. For North Melbourne, 6 point. They now go away by 9 points, 3-6-24. North Melbourne, 2-1-13 Hawthorn. Pritchard from centre wing, or down off centre wing, out towards his pocket on that centre wing, towards Collins. Turn down towards Jarman, getting away from Crocker for the first time. Collins running down, providing the option as he spotted him. Well done, Andy Collins. This is the back pocket. Gallagher trying to put some harassment. Dennis on Brereton. Now Collins will run onto it again. Players clash, the ball in dispute. Nobody can really get a clean hand of the ball. Peter Cameron has let play go on as the ball dribbles out towards the line. Deere, now it's Collins. What can the little fella do? Just waiting on the umpire. Touch. What magnificent play by Andy Collins.
Yes, Andy Collins has gone right down the field and initiated a couple of bits of play there, and perhaps almost set up a goal then for Hawthorn.
Good play by Longmire too in the end.
I'm still trying to pick up who didn't follow Andy Collins down the field.
Might have been Clarkson. I think he's come onto the ground. He gave a handball away earlier. Longmire takes it from German. Then Spargo. Bit of trouble here. Smith pushed in the back by Brereton and gets a free kick.
That's a fact, Tim. Collins is by himself, hands on hip in the centre of the ground, so he hasn't got an immediate opponent.
I think Anthony Rock's on the ball, and Clarkson's going up on the ball too, so he's a little bit confused at this stage.
Rock in some trouble here. Handball by German. Smith round the body, a high one, still outnumbered. Deere at the back. Good take by Pritchard under pressure, and the kick is a quick one. Crocker and also Dennison, and fine mark by Dennis. Some good talking obviously there. Dennis wide, here's a chance. Allison versus Condon. He's kicked it to the space. Condon runs Allison off it. Allison will probably give away a free kick. He does. Dunstall getting some treatment at full forward.
And Anthony Rock's still in the hands of the trainers in the back line.
Kick towards the centre, thrown out by Anderson. And it's been picked up. Jarman was away, and that was going to be a danger for North Melbourne. So Larkin from half-back.
The captain relieves for North Melbourne. A high ball towards the half-forward flank. Carey in front of Madigan. Madigan punches it down. Collins, who nearly initiated a goal earlier, cleans up. Carey running onto this ball. Left foot in towards centre half-forward. Ayres with greater strength on Dwyer. Will get the free kick. No, play on. The advantage played. Lawrence, who rested at centre half-forward, gets the ball on the edge of the centre square, but doesn't find an opponent. And Richard Dennis, who has started to lift his game after Brereton kicked that goal, release to North Melbourne. Dwyer getting away from Ayres. Play on quickly. Not a good handball, but still finds his mark. Rock. Not too many options down the ground. There's a big open hole. McCarthy will run onto it. Can't control it. Jenke will relieve again for Hawthorn. Spots Lawrence and the ruckman. The 50-metre line will let the ball go towards centre wing. Not a good kick off the boot. Well judged by Deere. Plays on quickly to Pritchard in turn towards centre half forward. Gallagher by himself should take the mark and does for North Melbourne.
So it's going to be a very warm day here today, and it's going to be interesting to see the fittest side running the quarters out.
So good quarter for North Melbourne. They lead 3-6 to Hawthorn, 2-2 at quarter time. Start of the second term at the MCG. John Longmire's gone back to full forward for the start of this quarter, and Michael Martin to full back. So Wayne Schimmelbusch keeping us all guessing. North Melbourne lead 3-6-2-2. Ben Allen out of the centre. A tagging roll again today. Yes, free kick against Jarman to Crocker, who had the best of that duel in the first term. provided some rebound from halfback along with German. Gallagher, Lawrence went very early. Well played, Gallagher, though, in the end.
Good play.
It was, too, to give Rock some sort of a chance. Rock now leaves it. Handball on the up by Gallagher was good. Here's Larkin short, not a good kick. Got to be 100% accurate when you're kicking the ball 10 metres. And McCarthy had it whipped off him from Jenke. Now to Anderson. Anderson's kick a little bit too far for Hudson, who's wearing a tag also today with Steele. Crocker again. Ross Smith runs it towards the boundary line. It's still in play. Off the ground there by Fairley. Chance for Anderson. Over the top of it. Left-hand handball was pretty good to Platten, who provided one excellent bit of play in the first term when he found Dunstall. The kick towards centre-half forward Fairley. Brereton had, Hudson had the run of it. His kick's a good one. Gives Dunstall a, well, it didn't really in the end. It was too powerful. And Dunstall unable to get back to take the marker behind.
Actually, North Melbourne have made a couple of changes in the back line. Richard Dennis has gone on to Paul Deere, and he did pretty well on Brereton in the first quarter. So they've decided to make a couple of changes at the start of this second quarter.
Richard Dennis got the job in the back pocket, kicks in, looking for Gallagher, but the ball punched down. Rock underneath it, trapped, but the ball held to Rock. As you can see there, really didn't have a chance to get rid of it as Jarman came in, rode him to the ground, and Darren Goldspink, in charge, will bounce the ball. Hawthorn kicking to the right of screen, 60 metres from their goal. Brereton gets a punch over the 50-metre line. Running onto it is Morrissey. Drags it across with the left foot in towards Dunstall. Can't trap it, and the ball punched away by Martin. And the ball to be thrown in Hawthorn's left forward pocket.
And the other change they've made is that Fairley's gone on to Brereton. And now I'm not quite sure what's going on.
I wonder what that's all about.
Perhaps he didn't throw the ball back to the boundary umpire. Actually, in the last couple of years, it's been a little bit strange. It's, the umpires brought out a rule whereby you're not allowed to touch the ball once it goes out of bounds. But I've just noticed in the last 12 months that it started to change again, and I think the players are a little bit confused as to what is the rule now.
Morrissey plays on quickly, opening up the angle of goal. Checks across the body. 1 point. Normally he could drill those, Jamie Morrissey, as Tim mentioned earlier, capable of the freakish. Ball held across the body. I said check side, but actually hooked the ball back in. And 8-point different. 24 playing 16. Lawrence, a big Gowers, a big fly. He'll give away the free kick. Those players look alike, don't they, in the Hawthorn Guernsey? Gowers and Lawrence. And Gallagher, who will relieve for North Melbourne. The high ball towards the half-forward flank. Setting himself Dwyer, but in front is Ayres. Well done, Dwyer. Better recovery. Collins leading Clarkson. It's Clarkson who'll trap the ball. Does so well. Drags across the body. Longmire in front, but can't control it as he'll see the ball over the boundary line.
Collins reads the play very well, doesn't he? Don, he always seems to be leading his forward to the ball.
Longmire, his left thigh heavily strapped, and he doesn't look 100% fit. Might be one of the reasons he's gone to full forward here. Keep an eye on him, Tim, for a moment. Allen and Ayres to Platten. Good play, Ayres. Platten links up well, goes to centre wing. Fairly with a job on Brereton now. German at the back. Now German. She's a good player, isn't he? German, a very good kick. Great kick to McCarthy.
And that is exactly how you have to kick the ball to your forwards.
So McCarthy just telling the umpire exactly where Jenke should stand.
He's capable of kicking this, Bruce. He has done the mercurial on a number of occasions, John McCarthy.
Well, Lawrence is the only one in the goal square at the moment. So if it falls short, he'll take a mark unopposed. Now Allison going back. Longmire also working back. McCarthy from 55, 60 metres. He's kicked it very, very well right there. But Hawthorn able to get a hand on it. Here's Allison in the pocket. Back to centre half forward. Chance for Spargo. Gee, attacked it strongly. Hit the post. Had a couple of goes at that and was a bit stiff in the end. And North Melbourne up to 3-7 to 2-4. I'm not convinced that Longmire's fully fit at full forward.
It was a good centre by Allison. Just didn't find Spargo. But Hawthorn relief through Ayres. Ayres to Jenke. Jenke looks like Ayres, a younger version. Well-balanced player. Steele. Hudson. Running onto it, Collins, well down from the back pocket. Hawthorn looked dangerous. Anderson traps the ball, looking for an option with the hands, but then decides to steady. Goes Goldwood. What's he done? Direction right, but the fist of Martin just getting in the way.
I really thought Richard Dennis did the wrong thing then. He ran back with his player, Paul Deere. I always feel that there's nothing worse than having to make a decision. And if the players run away from the guy with the ball, they're not forcing the guy to make a decision.
North Melbourne have made a change. Christian Anning, who started off on the ground, back on. And Dwyer's gone off. He's in the hands of the trainers. Ball towards the centre, in the square. Collins trapping it. Well down from the back pocket. Doing well as Andy Collins. Sets up a short one to Morrissey. Morrissey doesn't let him down with an easy chest mark. Distance could be a problem here for James. He's looking for an option and finds it in Gowers. Can't just bring it in, Gowers. But the ball still in Hawthorn's favour. Only some 20 metres from goal in the forward pocket. To do the ruck work, Deere and Gallagher. Fairley hovering to give assistance. Ball down. Crocker doing really well on that half-back line. Across to Spargo. A high ball for Spargo. Nobody out there for North Melbourne. Lawrence, the only man in screen. Can he bring it in before the ball goes over the line? Yes. Chips it in towards the flank, but beats Anderson over the boundary line. And the ball to be thrown in. Hawthorn's left forward flank.
There's been some untidy play in the last couple of minutes, hasn't there?
Longmire's off and McDonald on, so he's obviously injured, Longmire, which is a body blow to North Melbourne. McDonald goes to full forward. Brereton's tap. Chance was for Clarkson initially. Now Morrissey, caught by Clarkson, took a long time. Hudson with a long one, gets some distance. Martin versus Dunstall in the pocket. Dunstall cleverly, still with Dunstall, goes back to Brereton. Concedes about 15 metres, but finds Brereton.
Well, he came off last week too, John Longmire, a back-related injury. He had twinges in the hamstring, believed to be coming from the back. Maybe that's the same problem. They're working on the left leg of John Longmire.
Here's Brereton, gives it plenty of air, brings it back in. Great looking kick by Dermott, and it's a goal. Brereton second, and Hawthorn are within 2 points at 3-5 to 3-7.
Dermott Brereton really is a wonderful finisher. I think he's probably one of the better kicks for goal in the league. But that goal was after a couple of untidy minutes of football when Hawthorn uncharacteristically missed 2 or 3 passes going into their forward line, and Jason Dunstall at that time preferring to give the ball off to Dermott Brereton further away from goal.
2 points of difference. Peter Cameron restarts play. Gallagher gets it down. Rock onto it quickly in towards centre half forward. Carey breaking from Madigan. Out strongly was McCarthy. Can't control it. Jenke cool under a crisis. Also is Collins. Ayres also cool. Out towards Platten. And a little fellow will relieve for Hawthorn. Half-back flank, one bounce. Seen out for Gowers. Gowers in turn goes long. Looking for nobody in particular, but it's Crocker in front of Jarman once again. Jarman who gets it, but also gets one high. It's going to be a throw, Don. No, a free kick against Jarman. I thought that was rather high. He got up holding his head. The free kick going North Melbourne's way. Darren Crocker doing well on Jarman. Up towards centre half forward. Ayres in front. Ball to ground. Rock stands his ground. Well done, Clarkson. Traps it. Hits it out in the direction of Ayres and Rock. Platten onto it. Well tackled by Rock. Free kick. Advantage play. Pritchard. Hawthorn have picked up the tempo. Over the back is Steele. A late inclusion replacing Buckley. Well smothered by Andrew Gowers. And at least the ball stays in the Hawthorn forward line through the good work of that man in screen, Andrew Gowers.
You're quite right, Don. I feel like Hawthorn have picked it up a cog or two in this last couple of minutes of play.
Gallagher, Brereton, Morrissey over the back, only as far as Gowers, taken off him. North Melbourne now to half forward, where Carey did a good job there to keep the ball with an opportunity for Larkin. Good take by Larkin at half forward, goes short, and a great kick to McCarthy. It was outstanding play. McCarthy in the wrong pocket for him.
Actually, I watched McCarthy then. He really did put a lot of faith in Larkin because he was leading before Larkin had even got to the ball.
Well, let's see if he can take advantage of that outstanding pass. It'll need an outstanding kick. Floating towards the front of the goal square. In the front spot was Langford, taken by Condon. Left foot away to the space. Going towards the boundary line. Gower sits and waits. A handball to Anderson. Good take by Anderson under a bit of pressure. Left foot was clever in the end. Morrissey and also German. Morrissey keeps it in. Probably not the right thing to do. The quick kick away by Clarkson to Anning. Anning goes to play on, now called to play on. Drew Lawrence to him in the end, then kicks it towards McCarthy with Jenke. Rock. A handball by Platten. Collins sideways to Ayres. They've done that before, I reckon, Ayres and Collins. Ayres with a short one towards half forward. Hudson with a big stretch, couldn't take it. German backs up cleverly, kicks it back. Here's Larkin giving Ayres just a little push out, the two captains together, and it rolls out of play in front of Platten. Get upset there, Dom. What happened?
Well, I saw the umpire right in position to ping Jenke for holding McCarthy, and it was Darren Goldspink who just let play go on. Haven't they ever heard of holding the man before? Anyway, play back with Platten, and the little fellow gets the ball. He'll set it up for Hawthorn. Goes towards the half-forward flank. A diving attempt by Brereton. Can't trap it fairly there. He'll relieve. In towards Ben Allen. Best and fairest of last year. Gets it, tries to get it across to Gowers, but cut out by Spargo. In towards centre half-forward. McDonald off interchange. Leads Langford. Now it's centre half-forward McDonald. Allison looking for options. Goes towards centre half-forward. Spargo seems to be playing by himself. Across to McCarthy, drops the ball. Back to Spargo. What can he do? Well smothered by Condon. Allen, relief for Hawthorn. Centre wing he goes. Crocker in front of Jarman once again. Deer, he'll keep his eye on the ball. Out towards Anderson, but a free kick throwing the ball, but advantage played. Clarkson. Carey on the lead, and he spotted him. Well done, Alistair Clarkson. Took advantage. As a free kick, a throw against Paul Deer, centre wing. The advantage paid. Clarkson went on, and a great kick.
I was just looking back to that bit of play there when Paul Deer, just before Paul Deer knocked the ball out, and the North Melbourne players played that very well. Often players jump in much too quickly onto a player and give away a free kick, but they just held their ground and stood off him a little bit.
Carey lining up for his third goal. Ball on its way. We'll wait on the goal umpire. And it is drifted across to the left-hand side of the majors for a point. So Wayne Carey has blotted his copybook. That is his first point for the game. 2-1. North Melbourne, 3 points in front. 26 playing 23.
Langford to the open space. Collins having a good match. Gets a favourable bounce. Left foot towards half forward. Deer versus Dennis. Dennis has done very well, both on Brereton and Deer, after Brereton kicked that early goal. And Tim, I was just thinking a moment ago that Carey is really the 90s version of Brereton in the early 80s, isn't he?
Yes, it'll be interesting to see if how long he can hold out. Actually, I think Dermott, from taking all that punishment at centre half forward, which really is a very difficult position to play.
Deer over the back. Allen trapped it, went to ground, looked for a free kick. They're on top of him, North Melbourne, and it'll be Peter Cameron to come in and bounce it. Well, they both kicked 2 goals apiece, Brereton and Carey. Hard position centre half forward, and Brereton has been the champion along with Stephen Kernahan for the last 6 or 7 years, and Wayne Carey looks to be the star of the 90s in that position. There's Paul Deer, taken by Anning, who's caught immediately, and it'll be again a ball up, bounce down, not given an opportunity to get rid of it, Anning. And centre wing, stalemate for the moment. North Melbourne leads in a low-scoring game by 3 points.
Gallagher, good hit out to the young fellow playing his second game, Christian Anning. In towards centre half forward. Carey by himself, dropping back. Can he hold it? No. Play on, says the umpire. Madigan. Allison feeds it out in the direction of Carey. It's Collins there once again. Anderson, heavy traffic. And a free kick has been spotted Hawthorn's way.
Yes, Collins didn't have the ball when Carey tackled him, but Carey took a knock in the back, then going back for that ball, and that's exactly why centre half forwards don't seem to hang around too long in football.
Clarkson, a little heavy work on Platten. Undeterred, he picks himself up, Platten, across to Jenke, and Jenke in turn down to Gowers. The crew cut at Gowers, centre winger, high kick towards centre half forward, Plack fly, ball down. Hudson, heavy traffic once again. Shoal underneath it. Now Pritchard's got the break. What can he do? Across to Hudson, an easy goal coming up. Paul Hudson. He's missed it. Can you believe it?
I can't believe that. I cannot believe that.
There was nothing between Paul Hudson except Michael Martin. He could have steadied, nobody coming, and all the time in the world. And what has he done? Kicked Hawthorn's 6th point. Paul Hudson, that's his 2nd point for the game. He's already kicked 1 goal. Peter German, full back, will relieve for North Melbourne.
Gets some distance. Deer and fairly opposed to one another. Brereton just got rid of Crocker. Jarman, little give to Deer. Got a quick kick away, didn't go very far. Dennis, a good handball to Spargo. Needs to be accurate here. Oh, well played. Drew Jarman to him, but didn't kick it all that well and found Lawrence. Played it on quickly to Pritchard. Normally looks for Dunstall. Is he too far away from him? The kick not good, out on the full. And North Melbourne to relieve. Been a scrappy quarter, Tim. Not a lot happening, is it?
Not a lot happening, Bruce, but I get the feeling it's a pretty good contest out there. The game is seesawing between half-back lines, and in these instances, you really do wait to see who breaks the game open.
The conditions wouldn't be good for football either, Tim.
No, it's very hot out there, and the players really will need to take a lot of water in during this game.
Rock to centre wing after the earlier kick was accurate. Here's Carey. Played superbly well. Centre half forward, the kick, Larkin and Ayres. Ayres just too tall there.
That's a terrible kick. You're kicking to a short Larkin, and you've kicked the ball up in the air to favour the Hawthorn player Ayres.
Here's Anderson. Dunstall with a chance. Martin goes with him, plays it well. Gow sits and waits, gets caught. Good tackle on him by Clarkson. Now Crocker. If North can take it here, they've got a chance. Allison and Dwyer is back on the field now. McDonald might have to work for him here, and he does. Good kick, gives him a chance, and he did work hard, McDonald, from a long way out to take the mark. Too far out to score. Has McCarthy in the goal square. Plays on quickly. McCarthy hurled by Jenke and gets the free kick.
Well, that's about time.
It's not the first time that Ray Jenke has held McCarthy today, but it's the first time the umpire has actually seen it.
Well, Darren Goldspink, the umpire giving that free kick on that occasion, saw Jenke do it earlier to McCarthy, but decided to let the game go on. That time he pinged McCarthy. Ping Jenke, and McCarthy has the opportunity to kick his second goal. Ball on its way. From the crowd reaction, it's a goal, and it is his second, John McCarthy. North Melbourne 4-8-32, Hawthorn 3-6-24.
John McCarthy really is a live wire in the forward line for North Melbourne, and what they need to do is create plenty of space for each other. They've got Donald McDonald there at full forward now, who's not the quickest leader in the forward line, so I would expect that he'd be staying back more towards the goal square.
Peter Cameron about to get this underway again. 17 minutes gone in this the second quarter. Allen from Hudson down towards Dunstall. Martin in front, jostle of bodies. Dunstall still using the body. Well picked out by Deer, across to Pritchard, running off centre wing. Goes Goldwood. He's dragged it right across the face of goal for Hawthorn's 7-point.
And Don, that's the third time in a row that Ben Allen has got the ball out of the centre square via a tap from Stephen Lawrence.
Peter German will bring the ball in once again. Michael Martin not doing the kick in. German is. And looks for that man. Martin started at full forward. A good handball over the top to Gallagher, in turn should handball, and does. Over to Dwyer, who was off the ground injured earlier. Looking for McCarthy, getting away from Jenkins. McCarthy kicked North Melbourne's last goal. Nice handball back to Carey, who in turn centres towards McDonald. Just can't trap it. Goes in well again, McDonald. Larkin quickly out towards Scholl. Now the ball running. What can they do? They've kicked it. And it's a little fellow.
Don, Don.
Christian Anning, his first goal in league football, his second game. And North Melbourne, 5-8-38. Hawthorn, 3-7-25.
And that was terrific play then by Donald McDonald. He missed the mark, but he butted up very quickly, trapped the ball, and then knocked it out to a North Melbourne player. And really, the North Melbourne players had Donald McDonald to thank for that goal.
5-8-3-7. Tim mentioned a minute ago that it was a stalemate situation. One team could make the break. Is it North Melbourne? They've got a little gap here. Gallagher out of the centre, well played to Larkin. McDonald on this lead. Langford, not the right option for McDonald in the end to go to ground and allow Langford to take it. Collins for the boundary line, out of play. Another goal here, Tim, in a low-scoring game would give North a big break before half-time.
Yes, they've looked a little bit better than Hawthorn in the last 5 minutes, but there's a long way to go yet, Bruce.
Carey and Madigan. Platten has had a good first half. taken off him though. The quick kick away by Madigan. No free kick for Crocker. Taken by Rock, keeps it in play, left foot. Carey was the target. Larkin missed it now. Carey, the good tackle on him. Larkin, Collins, no free kick still. Larkin looking for one. Collins on him. No support for Larkin in the end. Platten keeps it in play momentarily, and it bounces off the North Melbourne player. And there's some problems here on the boundary line. Gee, Platten in a bit of trouble. Langford's gone into assist against McDonald.
The umpires pick out a free kick at a push. It's going Platten's way.
Yes, heavy tackle on Platten. Langford very upset after the ball had gone out. There's Platten from the back pocket. She's kicked that a long way for Johnny. Great cut, Crocker. Superb. He's had a very good game, hasn't he?
Well, Darren Jarman has been taken off the ground. Alex McDonald is Darren Crocker's second opponent, and Darren Crocker's played very well.
Rock across to Larkin. What can North Melbourne do? Larkin dodging. Spot Scholl. Scholl in turn to centre half forward. He was looking for Clarkson, but he's found Dwyer. Dwyer plays on quickly out towards Allison. North Melbourne controlling the ball in that 50-metre circle.
Don, that was a terrific handball out from Matthew Larkin then. He had to handball very low and hard. He hit his target. The ball was from Scholl, passed on again, and North Melbourne are looking very good at this stage of the quarter.
Clarkson going off as Smith comes on, and Allison lining up for North Melbourne's sixth goal. Hits the post, unfortunately, for North Melbourne. And North Melbourne now 5-9-39. Hawthorn 3-7-25. Langford out to Jenke. One bounce goes Ray Jenke. Then in turn, centre wing. Gower's running onto it, but well done by Allison. Plays on quickly, looking for Spargo. Can he find him? Yes, he does. Under a lot of pressure there from Ben Allen. Two centremen opposed to one another. It's number one who comes out with it. Paul Spargo. Good game last week, Paul Spargo, against Richmond.
Paul Spargo, very well-respected player at North Melbourne, but unfortunately he's been hindered by injuries over the last few years.
Spargo sends a long ball. It looks good. It is. Paul Spargo, his first goal for North Melbourne, 6-9-45. Hawthorn 3-7-25.
This Paul Spargo took a well-judged mark then, but he also has put in a huge pre-season campaign for this 1992 season. He looked very fit coming into the 1992 season after doing a lot of training leading up to Christmas.
Well, North have got the break just before half-time at 45-25, and Hawthorn have got to stay put here now. Gallagher, Pritchard to Platten, who's had a lot of touches in the first half. Gives Deer some chance, and going to ground was Dennis. Now Deer looking to centre. Dunstall the target. Two North Melbourne players against him. Dunstall almost winning. Here's Gowers swooping on it. Couldn't get the foot to the ball. The tackle was a good one. Gowers throws it out in the end. Crocker, who's had Jarman taken from the ground, which must be some sort of a compliment, and he finds the boundary line.
Yes, Don, you just can't afford to lose your footing, can you, if you're a backman? You really can't.
No.
Well, gave Deer the opportunity, but for North Melbourne, a good result in the end to get it to half-back. Deer in the front spot. Pritchard and Scholl having a wrestling match. Platten's handball towards Brereton. Sitting on top of it, Spargo. Handball not all that good, but they get away with it. Dennis with some skills. We know he's got those, but not a great kick. Well, I was going to say not a great kick because Ayres was in the box seat. Rock's little give was a throw in the end. And the free kick will go to, well, Ayres is going to take it off and go short. Centre wing.
Showed a lot of confidence then. Ayres kicked with the left foot. In turn, Hudson being held by Steele, but he does well, Paul Hudson. Figured well in the Brownlow last year. This young fellow wearing number 17. A number made famous at Hawthorn by Michael Tuck, former skipper, an AFL record holder as far as games played. And Paul Hudson. Can he make this Hawthorn's fourth goal? It's a good kick off the boot. No, it's not. Shocking kick off the boot. I have to retract those words. As the ball goes over the boundary line, he's having a dirty day, Paul Hudson. And Michael Martin will bring it back in. Out to where the ball came from. Hawthorn in control, and Gowers, a very tall wingman. The 190 centimetre mark, and that's tall for a wingman, goes towards centre half forward. And again in front, Richard Dennis, who's really having a good day today. Brereton got away from him initially, but now he started to really put it together. Scholl, Gallagher running onto it, the big fellow, looking to set it up. Smith provides that. An option, Ayres showing desperation. Did he throw the ball, Smith? No, said the umpire. Platten coming into the game, dodges. Looking for something down the ground. He spotted Brereton, but fairly. Hand over shoulder, but not seen by the umpire. Deere, strong body work. Gets the ball away to Platten, running onto it. A high ball by the little fellow. Allen being held by Spargo. Over the back. Martin can't control it. Hudson, what can he do this time? He's found Dunstall. And Dunstall, only a matter of 20 metres from goal, directly in front. This shouldn't be a problem for this experienced full forward, who has an average of 4.4 as far as goals kicked per game. He's played 147 games and kicked 658 goals. Former best and fairest winner at Hawthorn. And bread and butter for the champion. North Melbourne still hold a lead, 6-9-45, Hawthorn 4-7-31.
Yes, Don, that was a beautiful pass in by Hudson. But I've just noticed in the last couple of minutes, the North Melbourne boys do look a little bit tired, and it's critical, the 25-minute mark onwards of a quarter, especially on a hot day such as this, that you run the quarter right out.
That goal to Dunstan brings Hawthorn back within 14 points, and a free kick against North. So Hawthorn with a chance here. Infringement in the centre, too many players in there. Lawrence to the space. Oh, Hudson in the front spot, too easy that time against Steele. So suddenly this game turning around, North Melbourne looking in control, 20 points in front. A goal to Dunstall, a free kick that shouldn't have been there out of the centre, a chest mark to Hudson, and the opportunity to kick a second goal within about 30 seconds to bring Hawthorn within touch.
And Paul Hudson perhaps getting on top of Darren Steele in this second quarter.
So Hudson from 30 metres out. He missed a ridiculously easy shot earlier, running into an open goal. Drop punt, leans back on it. I think he's missed it again. He has, so he's kicked 1 goal 3, Hudson.
It's very uncharacteristic for Paul Hudson. He's normally a very good finisher. But in today's football, actually, when there's 5 North Melbourne guys in the centre square at that last centre bounce, and it's very confusing with players coming and going on the ground, being switched around. I know at Essendon last season we were often caught out because we weren't quite sure who was on who.
Good kick out by Dennis. Covered a lot of distance. Brereton onto that quickly. Spoons a handball out, running onto it as Spargo. He'll relief for North Melbourne. But he only goes as far as McDonald, and he'll drive this ball right into the edge. Oh, I'm sorry, Gowers will drive this right onto the edge of the square. The high ball. Pack sets. Oh, did he control it? Play on, said the umpire. A brilliant attempt by Dunstall. What a magnificent attempt by Dunstall. As we siren sounds for half-time, North Melbourne 6-9-45, Hawthorn 4-8.
CG, North Melbourne by 13 points. A couple of changes for North Melbourne. Tim Watson will pick them up in a moment. Gallagher went early and didn't find the ball, and Lawrence did. Still Lawrence tapping it forward. Allen, who had a very good second turn, winning the ball out of the centre. That one to the space. Anderson loves this situation where he can run onto it. Scholl tries to put the pressure on. Anderson under pressure, and a free kick against Scholl, going back to Anderson for a push in the back as he was kicking it. So Anderson from between centre wing and half forward. North got away to lead by 20 points late in the second term. Anderson's kicked Hudson in the front spot, Martin at the back. Quick handball to Pritchard. Throw against Condon. And is that 50 metres? No. Free kick going back to Scholl. The changes for North Melbourne, Tim.
Well, the changes for North Melbourne is that Martin's gone, well, Martin's at full back, sorry. Dennis has gone back onto Brereton, and Fairley has gone back onto Paul Deere, and John Longmire is lined up again at full forward.
Strong body work there in the centre as Platten clears for Hawthorn down towards the full forward line. North Melbourne relieved through Steele. Smith, Gowers. Good battle between those two. Well done by Ross Smith as he goes around the boundary line, looking for that line, and he finds it with Anthony Dwyer just running onto the ball. Jason Taylor has come on for North Melbourne. For Hawthorn, he's gone to centre half back on Wayne Carey. 13 points the difference in favour of North Melbourne. Gallagher, Deere in front. Good body work. Smith off the ground. And Ayres has put in a solid game today in front of Dwyer, the captain. Centre wing, plays on quickly. Brereton should have taken that. Dennis butters up. There's his immediate opponent. Had the break on Dennis, but just couldn't capitalise. And on the rebound, it's Dwyer. One bounce. Goes long towards the square. Longmire. Langford beats both of them. What will the bouncing ball do? Hits the post and it'll be thrown in North Melbourne's left forward pocket.
I think there's a poor kick then by Dwyer. Brett Allison was running down the field and he made space for him in the forward line, and he really didn't even look across to his left on that occasion.
Deep in the pocket, North Melbourne attacking. Carey over the back. Condon waited cleverly. Was going to handball, withdrew, and then kicked it very well to centre wing. Lawrence goes to ground, shows some skill. We know that he's got that, then swings the handball wide to Anderson. Chips a pass to centre wing. Deere runs onto it in front of Fairley and takes it. Deere sweeps onto that left foot, which he loves to do. Goes to centre half forward. Gallagher's got back. Takes the mark. Looked as if he might have been off. Hudson got hold of him. Now German running off Gallagher. German to centre half forward. Good kick. Dwyer. Ayres will put the pressure on. Dwyer could have got a free kick, didn't. Ayres the strength will win out. Taylor taps it onto Platten. Platten backs back. Gets caught by Smith. Well done. Had a bit of vision. Tried to get the handball on for Dwyer. Dwyer round the body. Clever kick to Spargo. Gave him a chance. Backs up. And well played by Lawrence to force it out.
Great to see a ruckman doing what Stephen Lawrence just did then. Hasn't played all season. Big risk bringing him straight in, but that shows the regard he's held at Hawthorn. Their premiership ruckman of last year, Stephen Lawrence. Carey to do the ruck work. Ball in dispute. Nobody in control except Gary Ayres, who clears for Hawthorn towards centre wing. Crocker, who's had a magic day. But that's not so good. Across to Lawrence. Running onto it is Brereton. Quick handball across to Allen. This looks dangerous as he breaks in towards the forward line and stretching up and taking a finger tipper. Paul Hudson. Hudson being a little inaccurate today. He's kicked 1 goal, 3. Not the most reliable kick for goal. He kicked 62 goals, 49 behinds last year as he sends this ball in the direction of the goal square. Deere, can he capitalise? Swings back onto the trusty left foot, across the body. Pritchard! Open goal! And Hawthorn's 5th goal, the start they wanted.
That was a very good play then by Paul Deere as he swung around on his left foot. He didn't attempt to have a shot at goal. He really did try and centre the ball. It possibly went a little bit further into the pocket than he anticipated, but Darren Pritchard took a very good mark. Seeing no one around him, played on and slammed through a very good goal.
Hawthorn back within 7 points, 6-9, 5-8. Pritchard getting the goal they wanted after half-time. Gallagher favoured by the bounce, really could have taken it out of the air, but to Spargo with a high one, a floater. Carey and Taylor. Carey almost. Taylor taps it away. Rock and Taylor. Now Rock has Clarkson in support, doesn't need him. Goes short and McCarthy gets onto it and quickly plays on. Gives German the sit. Should goal here, German, and he misses.
Well, Peter German really did have time then to steady and put through that goal, and it would have been a great goal for North Melbourne to answer straight away.
6-10, 5-8. Short by Langford to Anderson. He's done that a couple of times today using Jenke. Now Anderson from the back pocket. Gowers provides a lead. He's got a height advantage on Smith, but Gallagher comes in. He's played all right, Gallagher. Changed Dwyer's off and Anning on. Gallagher comes across, a kick to centre half forward. Longmire's his target. Longmire not moving too well, as you can see. Caught. In fact, that was ordinary play by North Melbourne because the rebound's going to come from Jarman to Pritchard with 2 bounces, a third. Could go all the way here, a fourth. Can go towards goal. You kick the Dunstall, getting back Martin off the ground. Well played still. But Gallagher's kick not all that good. The option was not a good one to Longmire.
And Johnny Longmire really doesn't look too well. I think that he's injured and he possibly will come off the ground very shortly.
Well, we see the runner, Frank Gumbleton, out there, also the club physio. Both had a word to John Longmire, so he could come off. It's North relieved to centre half back. Richard Dennis, a good kick finding Ian Fairley. Fairley, a longer kick out towards centre wing. Gallagher running onto it, punches the ball forward. Rock running on it. Good battle between these two. Both goers. Platten infringing, then goes over the top and should give away the free. And yes, the umpire, Darren Goldspink, agrees. Anthony Rock has got the free kick on centre wing, looking for options down the ground. Looks for Carey. No, it's McCarthy. Punched away by Lawrence. Gowers onto it once again. Centre wing, a high ball. Not looking for anyone in particular. Dermot Brereton sitting back and let Richard Dennis run to it. Unbelievable. Dennis changes mode of play across the ground. Jarman slips. Spargo onto it. Safety first, goes to the boundary line. Intentional. Yes. It's against Paul Spargo. And Hawthorn have got the kick on centre wing.
The umpires are starting to pay that deliberate kick out of bounds.
Morrissey. Spargo on the mark. Jarman into the hole, controls it. What can this mercurial player do? Plays on. Goal square, infringement by Brereton. Oh. Well. The mark has been paid. Another mercurial player with it, 23. But the question is, did he infringe when he went for that mark? The hand was into the back, but he pulled the ball down. Brereton lining up. There's Hawthorn's 6th goal. North Melbourne, 6-10, leading by 1 solitary point, 46. Hawthorn, 6-9, 45.
And Don, I'm still baffled by that rule of infringement. We see it happen all over the ground. In some areas, it's infringement to push a player out, even if you're going for the ball. Yet the umpires seem to play what was a blatant push in the back then for Dermot Brereton, who did take the mark.
Controversial goal to Brereton puts Hawthorn within a point at 6-10 to 6-9. Gallagher versus Lawrence. Jarman, who's gone into the centre, getting a few touches. Now Smith, left foot wide. Allison could take this. Does with a finger tipper. Quickly moves onto the left foot, centres it. Won't get quite as far as McCarthy. The take by Taylor was okay to Anderson. And Hawthorn starting to move it. Pritchard playing well to Collins. This is a Hawthorn that wins premierships. Wide, not a good kick. Smith should take it, he does. On this very hot day in Melbourne, sun beating down, 30 degrees. Smith's kick to the vacant half-forward flank. Carey got a good bounce, taps it forward, and it'll be a throw-in at half-forward.
And Bruce Donald McDonald has come back onto the ground and gone to full forward. And as we said before, John Longmire has been taken off the ground because of what appears to be some sort of a leg injury.
Yeah, leg, back, hamstrings. Longmire in a bit of trouble. Carey won the tap, but only as far as Condon. And Hawthorn away from half-back. Condon's kicked to centre half-forward. Hudson was outnumbered, but did very well. So did Allen at the base of the pack. Dunstall with the run at Martin. At the back was Dennis. Martin versus Brereton. Martin off the ground. Brereton and Morrissey. Morrissey comes across. Gee, Brereton's to keep going here. Quick kick by Morrissey. Jarman was looking for it in the centre. Now Allen. Brereton, Martin, now Morrissey. He's got a few opportunities here. Chips it over to Pritchard, who's had a wonderful quarter. Can go over the top to Hudson, he does. Who should kick a goal, and he will. And Hawthorn in front. Hudson's kicked his second, and the Hawks have steamed to the front here at the MCG at 7-9 to 6-10.
Yes, Bruce, is a very ominous sign here. Hawthorn really have had most of the play in this third quarter. Dermot Brereton followed the ball right out there to almost the wing position. He tried to chip pass the ball back around, and Pritchard, who's such a busy player and always seems to come into his own in the third and the fourth quarter because of his fitness, got the ball then on to Paul Hudson, who kicked a very valuable goal, and Hawthorn are probably in front, I think, for the first time this match.
5 points the difference. Gallagher and Lawrence to do the ruck work. Peter Cameron restarts play. Rock in hard. Anderson gets it out. Running onto a Deer fairly. Trapped by Hudson. Onto the left foot. Hooks the ball in the direction of Dunstall. Can he trap it? Tries to shake off Martin. He does so. Now on the left foot. Centres the ball. Gowers. Will he be too tall for Smith? He is. Andrew Gowers playing on the wing. Just too small. Too tall for Ross Smith on that occasion. Caught behind. Smith in the right position. Number 16 for Hawthorn. A very tall wingman. Lining up for Hawthorn's 8th goal. And his first. And he's kicked it. Andrew Gow's first goal, and North Melbourne trailing Hawthorn. Hawthorn is 6'9", 57. North Melbourne 6'10", 46.
And Andrew Gowers, who really did make a name for himself as a player in the second half of last season, and he is very tall for a wingman. He's 6'2", and in fact, with that haircut, he looks like he might have just broken out of Alcatraz. What do you think, Bruce?
Likely typed him, no doubt about that. So the Hawks have kicked the last 5 goals in this match without reply, but they lead 8-9 to 6-10. Ayres tries to barge his way through. Scholl, who's been given the stick on the wing today by Pritchard. Here's Taylor, who took Madigan's place at half-time, swings it to Gowers. So Hawthorn winning across centre now. Gowers short, Paul Deere the target, good kick, fairly with him. Anning and Collins, and it'll be a throw-in at centre wing. But Hawthorn slightly in attack and on top, no question about that.
And then Fairley then using that technique of hitting the hand away from the ball. Sometimes it's detected by the umpire, but not on that occasion.
Deere and Gallagher in a wrestling match. Gallagher's height winning out, Anning cleverly, but then off balance the handball. Ayres just got rid of Rock with a bit of strength, paved the way for Anderson. To Condon, here's a chance. Brereton's in the goal square. Dunstall goes short. The kick to Dunstall's all right. Dunstall leads. Now Hudson should go really, and kicks it around his body for another one. 3 to Hudson, 9 to Hawthorn. They're on fire, this Hawthorn team. They're 9-9 to 16.
And as we said during that second quarter, Paul Hudson started to shrug off his tag, Darren Steele, and he's continued on in this third quarter. That's his second goal this quarter, and Darren Steele really has been running up behind him on too many occasions, as we see Darren Crocker now has the job of picking up Paul Hudson, and Darren Steele has gone on to Johnny Platten.
Well, 17 points the difference here at the MCG. Hawthorn have got the break through goals through Brereton, and Hudson has just kicked his second. Gallagher and Lawrence. It's Gallagher down. Pritchard bumped off the ball. Hawthorn get it out of the square, out towards centre wing, no man's land. Who'll get to it first? Lawrence can't control it. Spargo. Numbers there for North Melbourne. Now they're trying to set something up. Scholl, little slow. Play on. Hawthorn have got the ball. Now Allen in the centre square, breaks towards centre half forward. Crocker backing back. Now runs onto it. Deere. North Melbourne will relieve. Gallagher, hand pass across to Larkin. Larkin looks further down the ground for options. Allison gave it, but it was Spargo who chipped in. Further down the field goes Spargo. McCarthy in position, but well cut out by Jenke. Ray Jenke spots Lawrence, the mobile ruckman, and turn over to Jarman. Has a no good day today, Darren Jarman. One bounce in the centre square. Chips the ball in towards centre half forward. A nudge by Dunstall. Martin in front, claims the mark. Play on, says umpire Cameron. Dennis goes directly for the boundary line. Now, what is umpire Cameron going to do? Earlier, he paid a free kick against Paul Spargo for a similar thing, but that time, play on, boys.
It was perhaps a little bit more scientific, that one, Don.
Deere versus Gallagher. Condon from Deere. Inside to Allen. High one to the goal square. Martin could get it, or he got a bad bounce in the end. He sat and waited, didn't do very well at all. Dunstall to Gowers. Gowers lines up from 30 metres, kicks around his body and scores a behind. Gee, Michael Martin, that was poor.
That was very poor play. In fact, you know, if you have anything to criticise Michael Martin about, it's probably his inability at times to do make the correct decision. He really does make some terrible mistakes at times.
Panics, doesn't he? Seen him before, just at the wrong time. That kick by Dennis puts Steele under a lot of pressure. Not a good option. Here's Deere, who's got Platten, who can attack the goal square, and he does with a drop punt. Nice looking kick by Platten, but taken by Dennis. No one back there for Hawthorn. Now Dennis looking for options. Where are they? Goes short for Gallagher, but it's danger. Good work though by Clarkson, but chance now for Lawrence. Pressure was on Condon. Handball by Jarman to Allen, who straightens up and misses. Or has he goal? Missed goal. Well, a bad mistake again by North. Allen kicks his goal, and it's 10-10 to 6-10.
Bruce, the signs really are there that Hawthorn are going to steamroll North Melbourne even at this early stage in the third quarter. And when we talk about mental toughness, one of the things that we have to consider is playing on a hot day. And it appears that the Hawthorn players have come out for this third quarter prepared for the conditions, where the North Melbourne players really have stopped to a walk.
Hawthorn now on a roll. 46 playing 70. Gallagher gets it down, but Ayres holds his ground, gets the kick. Pack flies, ball in dispute. Fairly onto it quickly. Looking for Scholl, he finds him. Centre wing Scholl. What's he do? Goes towards centre half forward, looking for Anning. The little fella there, but chipping in, John McCarthy. A great leap by McCarthy, had the run. And straight over the top of his teammate, Christian Anning.
He did direct that ball towards McCarthy then, but it appeared that McCarthy wasn't going to get there in time, but he is a very athletic player, John McCarthy.
He's already kicked 2 goals, John McCarthy. Fancies himself. No, he chips the ball. There's the hole, and Peter German's gone into it. Well done, McCarthy. A well-disguised piece of play. Everybody thought that he was going long. He was very deliberate in his run-up. Gave every indication he was going for a goal, but then at the last moment spotted Peter German. A good pass. German sends the ball goalward. Is it North Melbourne 7th? It is. North Melbourne have just kicked their 7th goal. Hawthorn 10-10-70. North Melbourne 7-10-52.
And a badly needed goal then by North Melbourne too, as it appeared that Hawthorn was about to steamroll them in this third quarter. John McCarthy, a very intelligent pass then to Peter German, who made the space in the forward line, and John McCarthy, who was probably a kick and a bit out, found German with that pass, and German, who's a very reliable kick for goal, put it through.
7-10-10-10. Well, the Hawks have kicked 7 goals without reply, so an important one for North Melbourne. Larkin couldn't quite crash through. Pritchard to Jarman, threw it away. And Anderson might be upset, but Cameron, the umpire, was in a very good position. Here's Scholl out of the centre. Another goal for North Melbourne would make this very interesting. Goes towards the pocket. McCarthy, who's played pretty well today, goes back to Smith. Smith's handball to German, lines him up, had a missed kick completely. And Collins gives the handball away for Morrissey. And German's hurt himself,
Hurt himself.
Yes, he looks like he might have twisted an ankle. Here's Clarkson with a chance, with German writhing in pain at centre half forward. Here's Scholl. Scholl goes towards full forward. In the front spot, Jenke, and he takes a mark. Too easy a mark in the end, with German in all sorts of trouble.
He looks like he's done his knee, actually. Bruce, he kicked the ground, and he went over the top of his leg, and he really does appear to be in some sort of trouble.
Well, a body blow for North Melbourne, remembering Longmire in trouble also. Lawrence takes it off Collins.
One bounce goes the big mobile ruckman Lawrence. Then the long kick. Dennis leading, Brereton and ball to the ball. Brereton behind. What can he do? Play on, says the umpire. He'll run into an open goal across to Dunstall. And Dunstall easily around for Hawthorn's 11th goal. Jason Dunstall has just kicked his second. Hawthorn 11-10-76, steamrolling North Melbourne in this the third quarter, 7-10-52.
And Dermot Brereton waiting back then. He didn't go with the pack of players. Richard Dennis, his opponent, did. Dermot waited back. The ball came free to him, and he handled over to Dunstall for a very easy goal.
Well, an outstanding quarter by Hawthorn, 11-10 to 7-10. Booted 7 goals in this term to just 1. Clarkson goes to ground. Platten, one of the stars in the first half. Smith's kick round his body to half forward. Dwyer under the ball from Collins. Here's Carey, who had an excellent first half. The kick just missing behind. So North Melbourne at 7-11 to 11-10. Carey with 2 goals, 2 to his credit.
It was a very good attempt then too, Bruce. He didn't have an option in the end. Donald McDonald stayed at the end of the 10-yard square, electing not to move.
So Langford to bang it back into the centre square. Gow's his target, and Lawrence.
The big men fly, and it's Stephen Lawrence who brought it down. Andrew Gow's also had his name written on that, but it was Lawrence who brought it down. A good kick out in the direction of Deer. Can't control it, Deer. He does now. Second attempt. Important player on the forward line for Hawthorn is Paul Deer. Richard Dennis getting away from Brereton. He'll relieve for North Melbourne. Not too many options down the ground. He spotted one. It's Carey getting away. No, it's Dwyer getting away from Ayres. Spargo under a lot of pressure. A high ball. Rock will run onto this. Can he keep it in play? He does, the little fellow. Quickly in turn. No, the umpire said he took the ball over the boundary line and the ball to be thrown in on centre wing. And Anthony Rock, hands on hips. Dismayed at that decision. Can't believe it. But nonetheless, the man in white is always right. And play will restart in between the half-forward flank and centre wing. In the shadows, Anthony Condon running out of those shadows. Carey to do the ruck work with Taylor. Nobody really gets a clean hit out down. Well shepherded by Smith. German, it's good to see him recover after stubbing his foot. Morrissey, a good mark, running with a flight of the ball, will relieve for Hawthorn in the 50-metre circle. Plays on, changing direction. Goes out wide. Who's he looking for? Pritchard in the square centre. I wonder if he was the intentional target.
Don, and I think the players are looking into the sun from this end too.
In turn, Pritchard goes to centre half forward. Gallagher ducks his head at the critical moment, still follows up. Gets a kick away, and Scholl, who had a good patch early in the game, continues play out wide. Allison running onto the ball. Can he trap it, Brett? He does. Takes on Morrissey. One bounce. Fancies himself. Then chips it into McDonald, who stumbles just at the critical time of taking that mark. Good composure nonetheless. Retained his footing. And Donald McDonald has got the chance to put some respectability on the scoreboard as far as North Melbourne goes.
This is a very good play then by Brett Allison. He looked up the field first of all, looking for the first option. All the fellas had led too far out of the forward line. He held on to the ball, took a bounce, which enabled Donald McDonald to double back and run into the space for a very good pass.
Hasn't kicked a goal yet. McDonald started on the interchange bench, very close to the man on the mark. Just wait on the goal umpire. It's gone right across the face of the goal to register 1 point. Donald McDonald's second point for the game. The first one coming in the first quarter. Chip pass out to Ayres from Langford. Jenke, 20 metres from the North Melbourne goal, goes out wide again to Morrissey. Now they've got players running and options. Condon's in front if he wants him. He decided no, he goes into the centre, Morrissey, then on the left foot. Allen just can't control it. Now he can, the little fellow. Platten runs long. Kicks long as well. However, direction astray. This is the scoring area, and Dennis to relieve for North Melbourne.
Well, with a short kick that puts the pressure on Crocker, and Dunstall able to chip in now. Platten from half forward to Dunstall in the pocket. Goes towards Brereton and Jarman. Oh, Jarman half volleys beautifully. Oh, he can play, can't he? Wonderful to watch. 12-10 to 7-12. And Tim Watson, it takes a special breed of player to do what Jarman can do at times.
He is a very special talent, Darren Jarman. And the only problem with him, I guess, is that he doesn't display them often enough. But that was a very intelligent kick then by Jason Dunstall, who really just kicked it to the space at the top of the square, and that's a very dangerous ball for the backman. And Darren Jarman, following the play down from the centre of the ground, got a beautiful half volley.
Well, Hawthorn taking control in the third quarter, 28 points the difference. Gallagher gets the ball down. Collins, a good player in the second quarter, off the ground in turn. To no one in particular. Who will win this foot race for the ball? Smith in front of Gowers. Gowers now takes his turn at it, and he'll be content to see the ball over the boundary line. 26 minutes played in this, the third quarter. And Hawthorn can certainly claim the third quarter as theirs. They started behind North Melbourne on the scoreboard at the start of the quarter, but certainly have overpowered them as this quarter's gone on. Spargo across to the running Rock, who directs playing towards the centre. McCarthy, can he trap it? No.
Free kick.
Should have been a free kick. Push out by Jenky, but he butters up well. Across to the running Langford. Putting pressure on the full forward is Langford. Condon. Langford runs on again. Will Condon spot him? No, he goes high in towards centre half forward. The pack fly. Crocker down. Gallagher backing up well, showing mobility for a big fellow. Germans recovered from stubbing his toe, but a little slow there, well dragged down. That was Dunstall who brought him down. Condon, smothered by Larkin. Deer, Fairley, it's Deer with strength. Now Dunstall, what can he do? Nothing of any consequence, he kicks a point. Well out from goal is Jason Dunstall.
And as is the case in the other quarters, Don, the game has almost stopped to a walk after the 25-minute mark. It's very hot out there and the players are really feeling the heat at this late stage of the third quarter.
Richard Dennis to restart play. Jason Dunstall. 2 goals, 2 today. It's great to see a full forward right up the ground as he was then, involved in play. Gowers behind Gallagher, punches down. Running onto it, Condon. Can't trap it. Free kick going North Melbourne's way. Paul Spargo will be the recipient. Free kick against Darren Jarman. A high ball out towards centre wing. Ayres in front of O'Dwyer. And an easy chest mark to the captain. Uses his body well, Gary Ayres. A lot of experience and a lot of strength in that body. A great body player. Casual looking kick out towards the flank. Dennis, not a good hand pass. In fact, it's a shocker as Condon follows up. Dennis just couldn't read that ball, and it's Paul Deer coming in with the sun behind him, taking an easy chest mark. Now, Paul Deer will let this ball go from 45 metres, the angle 45 degrees, the left foot on its way. He's hooked the ball, drifting across the face of the goal, and Michael Gallagher comes in to take an easy high mark.
Plays on quickly to Spargo. North needing a goal before three-quarter time. 2.5 minutes remaining. Short to Scholl. Just can't find a winner at the moment. Spargo again. Left foot to centre wing. Dwyer at the back. In the front, Allison and also Morrissey, and a throw in.
They're just not moving the ball down the field with any authority.
And playing wide too, Tim, now.
It often happens when you're not getting the ball out quickly from the back line.
Lawrence to Morrissey to Anderson on the end of it. Anderson's quick kick, not a good one. Gallagher takes a floater, but had plenty of time. Sweeps out the handball to Steele. Steele from half back towards centre wing. Dwyer missed it. Ayres has got better and better and better as the game's gone on. Short to Condon. Condon's made a good return to football like Lawrence today. First game for the season. Short to Collins. Hawthorn running as they love to do. Collins in the centre square, swings it wide. Deer the target, fairly able to stop that one. Not a particularly good kick by Collins. McDonald goes to ground, doesn't do it particularly well. Langford's come all the way up. The handball had a bit too much on it, but gives Hudson a chance to run onto the ball. Hudson in the pocket, spears at the centre half forward. A beautiful kick to Gowers. And no pressure at all now from North Melbourne. This game's totally opened up and Hawthorn are away.
Well, I don't think Hawthorn have really picked their work rate up in this third quarter. I just think that North Melbourne have dropped off almost completely. And Wayne Schimmelbusch will be very disappointed at this stage. This North Melbourne team shows a lot of promise, but every time it's put under the acid test, it seems to fall away.
Gowers misses. Not a particularly hard shot. He's kicked 1-1, Gowers, but has played well. He's 7-12 to 12-12, 5-goal margin, but Gowers with 13 and 2 has been a good player.
Well, the bell about to ring to end this third quarter. in North Melbourne hierarchy, you'd be wishing that bell would come pretty soon. Gallagher, Crocker, Larkin, Crocker, back to Gallagher. Smith, another hand pass. German just can't control it. In fact, a bad hand pass. No, he kept it in play under a lot of pressure from Pritchard. A free kick. Apparently German holding Pritchard on that occasion. And Pritchard's got the free kick centre wing. A short one in towards Gowes. He's come into it in this third quarter, Andrew Gowes.
There's loose men everywhere.
Platten. And those loose men synonymous of a team playing with a lot of confidence. A chip by Platten. Dunstall. A big fly at the end of the second quarter. Just didn't quite control the mark that time. Hawthorn with Lawrence as the bell rings to end this, the third quarter. And it's been Hawthorn's quarter. And on the scoreboard, Hawthorn lead 12-12-84. North Melbourne 7-12-54.
Start of the final term at the MCG was all Hawthorn in the third quarter. They lead by 5 goals after North Melbourne led by 13 points at half-time. Gallagher wins the first tap away. Platten been one of the best players today for Hawthorn out of the centre. Paul Deere versus Fairley. Fairley at the back, Jarman, who had a very good third term after a quiet first half. A centering kick, Dunstall on a long lead. Good take by Dunstall. Stops, turns, props, left foot, high one. Brings it back to the goal square. Brereton there, judges it. It goes through from behind. And Hawthorn up to 12-13 to 7-12. Any changes, Don or Tim, after three-quarter time?
No, one player that I've got a little concern about is number 24 for North Melbourne, Craig Scholl. He's got his left leg heavily bandaged up around the thigh area, and he is limping. It's quite noticeable. Richard Dennis had the job on Dermot Brereton today. Brings the ball back in towards the square. Gallagher can't control it with the one hand. It's Deere. Off the ground, out into no man's land. Platten will be the first there. Rock in hot pursuit. Shepherd laid by Gowes. And there's a free kick because in that instance, Gowes did not use his body in the Shepherd. He used his hands. So the ball has been taken off Platten. It's disadvantaged Hawthorn, and it now go to Rock. Bad play by Andrew Gowes because Hawthorn were on the break.
It was bad play, but then it illustrated this game very well. 2 players onto one once again.
Rock. Not many options, so all he can do is send the ball high. Big leap by Carey from behind. A lot of heavy traffic in there, a lot of hard tackling. Hawthorn the break. Anderson looking for options. Then decides to go back onto the right foot. But in front, Darren Crocker started like that and really did lead Jarman to the ball in the first quarter. Had a real purple patch in the first quarter. Release for North. Spargo. It's been a trier for the side today. Goes long. Carey behind, but who brings it down? Taylor, who's moved on to Carey after half-time. Madigan taken off the ground. Pritchard looking for Jarman. Half volley. Didn't he do that so well earlier for his goal in the third quarter? Jarman in turn goes with a hand pass to Condon. Condon out in front of Dunstall. The Crocker will be content to see the ball over the boundary line, 30 metres from the Hawthorn goal. Their right half-forward flank.
There's on that ball that went into the forward line there before for North Melbourne. Wayne Carey caught behind. He really should have punched the ball and brought it to the ground and given the North Melbourne Crummers some chance.
Gallagher to German, to Larkin from half-back, to centre wing. Carey the target. Good kick and a good strong mark. Carey a star in the first half. Up towards Dwyer, who was run under the ball by Collins. Now Jenkins. All's too easy for Hawthorn at the moment. They kicked 9 of the last 10 goals of this game. You look at this to Pritchard. He's got a panic. He goes to Gowes, who from 55 metres lines up, kicks it long, and through from behind. So Hawthorn at 12-14 to 7-12. Annings come back on for North Melbourne.
It's Scholl who's gone off, Bruce.
Yes, he copped one just at three-quarter time, Scholl. And as Don said, heavily bandaged coming out for the last quarter. So Longmire and Scholl both on the interchange bench and unlikely to return. So North Melbourne getting low in numbers. Dennis goes wide, looks for Gallagher and finds him at half-back. But playing wide again, North Melbourne. Hawthorn creating a lot of space for themselves. Gallagher, the kick to Ross Smith, who should take it, he does. Pritchard caught out there. Smith from centre wing. McCarthy provides the first lead. Carey the second one for him. Goes in the Carey direction. And Dwyer, Ayres has played very well. Juggles one, goes back to Jenke, his lookalike. Jenke plays on, swings it to Lawrence. Smith against him, out to numbered in terms of height. Here's Platt, has really enjoyed himself today. Bangs it towards full forward. Brereton and Dunstall at the back. Dennis, who's done pretty well, chips one across to Larkin, the captain. Has Allison wide. It's got to be a good kick. It's not. Gowers punches it forward. Gives himself or Jarman an option. Just waits for Jarman to swoop on the ball. Jarman normally does something constructive. That, again, a good one to Pritchard, who can race in. He looks for Dunstall normally, Pritchard. Gets himself into a bit of trouble. Goes to Paul Deere, who should goal on his left foot. Goes for goal and misses a behind.
As Darren Pritchard worked very hard then to try and make something out of nothing. He drew the players, and in drawing the players, he actually copped a fairly severe bump then, but he gave Paul Deere a bit of space.
Richard Dennis in the direction of Gallagher. Beats both Gallagher and Deere. Quickly onto it is Jarman. Well disposed of by Smith. He follows up well.
Good
Off the
play.
ground goes Ross Smith. Paul Spargo. Good shepherd by Christian Anning. Across to McCarthy. Can this be North Melbourne's 8? It is. Hawthorn 12-15-87. North Melbourne 8-12-60.
And North Melbourne really have Ross Smith then to thank for that goal. He was in a disadvantaged position, but he attacked the ball. He attacked the body and the ball, went straight at the ball, knocked free. He kicked it off the ground, and it created something for the forwards then. But North really do need more than that at this stage.
Twelve, 15, 8-12. An important goal for North Melbourne. 4.5 behind. McCarthy with 3. Well, Lawrence and Gallagher into one another. Jarman taps it forward. Larkin back to Smith. To half forward. Ayres and also Spargo. Free kick going to North Melbourne. To Dwyer. I think too far out at 55 metres. Just puts it up in the air. Looking for Carey versus Taylor. Langford there as well. Morrissey. Anning with him. McDonald. Loose ball, Anning caught by Langford and also Ayres. Now Langford caught by McDonald. I reckon he's holding the ball there, but it's going to be a bounce.
I think the umpire lost his whistle on that occasion. Quite an intelligent kick then from Dwyer, who's kicking a bit. Rather than kicking the ball right back into the goal square, he put it about 10 metres out from the top of the square.
Rock with a chance, Platten onto him. Good tackle, Platten, in fact, rips it off Rock in the end. And from half-back, bangs it into the centre.
And that man, Crocker, once again leads in the race for the ball. He clears for North Melbourne. Out wide he goes. Peter German recovered from stubbing his toe in the third quarter. A chip pass looking for Anthony Dwyer and finds him. And Dwyer, 20 metres from goal, 45-degree angle. Shouldn't be a problem for this young man. Had a day out last week against Richmond. 4 goals too. Lines up for North Melbourne's 9th goal. Accuracy the question. And it wasn't answered on that occasion.
Well, I've noticed a lot of the players today have run awfully close to the man on the mark, and it's as if they've looked up at that last second before kicking the ball, realising they're close, and it has put them off their kicks.
Langford to Jenke. He's done well today, Ray Jenke. Always seems to have a lot of time to do what he wants with the ball. Gowers been good after half-time on that centre wing. Platten, who's been a very, very busy player, always puts in, John Platten. Allen, Steele in hot pursuit. The ball to be thrown in on that outer flank in front of the Great Southern Stand. Halfway between the centre wing and the true half-forward flank. Hawthorn kicking to right of screen. Gallagher and Deere to do the ruck work. Gallagher in front. Used his height to advantage. Ball in dispute. Heavy traffic. Gallagher gets it out. No one can take advantage. Gallagher in turn follows up. Anning runs over the ball. Larkin managed to get a foot the ball, but in so doing, he's kicked the ball over the boundary line and to be kicked in by Andrew Collins on centre wing. The Sun a problem, as you can see there. Andrew Collins, hands to his eyes, and the conditions today not conducive to good football.
Yes, just too hot, Don, in the 30-degree mark. Gallagher in the front spot. Played pretty well, hasn't he? It's a German. Bangs it to centre-half forward. Not a good kick. Jenke, courageous mark against the flow. But again, a poor kick by German. He really singled out the Hawthorn players rather than his own. And that was a tough...
Well, Carey was committed on that occasion, Tim, wasn't he?
He was committed to go for the ball, and you know, as the coach would always tell the player, if you don't get the ball, you've got to touch something.
And it also shows volumes as far as Jenke is concerned, because he stood his ground.
Well, Ayres took the kick and gives it to Lawrence, who bounces it twice within about 7 metres, and again a third time, running sideways, goes short, looks for Hudson, can't get him. Crocker in the front spot, good skills by Crocker, but doesn't finish it off with the pressure from Hudson and Lawrence to get it back. He's done well, Crocker, though. I wouldn't count that against him. He's been one of North Melbourne's best players. Now here's Ayres, who's very high on Hawthorn's best playing list, to centre-half forward. Dunstall versus Martin. German. Swings it to McDonald. Then runs to the boundary line. Now goes inside to Rock. Short. McCarthy. North Melbourne getting plenty of the footy at the moment. A couple of goals quick, and this could be interesting today. McCarthy's kick, Carey's the target, and he takes a great mark. Tim, do you get the feeling that North are back in this?
Well, Bruce, I think they've got a chance here, but they really do need to slam on a couple of goals here.
Well, 26 points of difference, 61 playing 87. Hawthorn's way as Carey lines up for his third goal of the game. He was on fire in the first quarter. He kicked 2 goals. He's kicked 2-2 for the game, Wayne Carey.
I was just counting the water bottles out there at the moment, Don. There's 10 different trainers on the field with water bottles at the moment.
Carey, needed goal by North Melbourne. Can this be their 9th? Not a good kick off the boot, and it's not. It is their 14th point. A bad miss by Wayne Carey. 12-15, 87 Hawthorn. North Melbourne 8-14, 62.
Langford short to Pritchard to Collins. So both Dwyer and Carey have missed easy ones in the last 5 minutes. Jenke fully recovered, runs onto it, goes to centre wing. Look for half forward, look for Hudson and Crocker with him, and a throw in.
And Bruce, I'm very critical of the umpires not paying free kicks to the forwards. Once again, Darren Crocker had hold of Paul Hudson's jumper, and really it's very difficult for a forward in football today to get a free kick.
Yes, that did look blatant, didn't it? Hudson being swarmed over by Crocker. Gallagher wins the tap. Gowers goes back, but saw Pritchard, who's had a ton of kicks, to centre-half forward. Still versus Platt. Speak about a ton of touches. That's what Platten's had today. A handball out, only as far as Condon. It was a throw against Platt. And the umpires have been right onto that today.
They have been right onto the throws today. I think they must have got some sort of instruction during the week.
Still, who Don mentioned earlier, was a late inclusion with Smith and Buckley dropping out. Here's Crocker from half-back. Dwyer in the front, Morrissey at the back, Hawthorn again with the numbers. Ayres clever. Well, again a throw. Gee, the umpire was in a perfect position.
Well, they're red hot on that, aren't they? As German's got the ball on the edge of the square. Goes forward. Who can take it? No, it's only Hawthorn. Jenke. Hot pursuit is McCarthy. And Jenke would be happy with that. As you can see there, John McCarthy holding his mouth, an accidental hit or fist in the face. Jenke in front on that occasion, and it was purely accidental. Ball to come in. Langford. Players over the top of it. Collins, Anning. Attempted kick off the ground by Collins. It's Matthew Larkin, a high ball in towards the goal square. Players wrestling. Carey, Jason Taylor. Who will get away with it? Nobody. And the ball to be thrown in North Melbourne's left forward pocket. Only a matter of metres out from their goal. What can they do here, North Melbourne? Hawthorn desperate to hang on to that lead. Clean bowls everybody. German. Spargo, an easy one. That's North Melbourne's 9. Hawthorn 12-15-87. North Melbourne 9-14-68.
North Melbourne have had a lot of play in their forward line in this last quarter, and they've been rewarded then by that goal after some pretty hard work around the packs. They've missed a number of easy shots in this last quarter, and really what they'll need to do now is put another major on the board very quickly to get back into this game.
Spargo with 2 goals. North Melbourne closing the gap here at 9-14 to 12-15. Next goal pretty important. If the Kangaroos get it, they're right back in business. From the centre square, Spargo tries to win it out. First tackle looked a bit high, but now Ross Smith back to Rock with a bounce. Attacks the goal front. Good-looking kick. McDonald. Oh, Allison a good one. Allison drive. Great mark from the side. Timed it beautifully, didn't he?
He was always in the right position to take that mark.
And looks as if he's hurt his right leg.
I think he's cramped.
Just trying to get rid of the cramp. Now, he missed the goal, Tim, from not quite straight in front, but from about 30 metres out on a slight angle 3 or 4 minutes ago. In fact, German's grabbed the ball, but is coming back to Dwyer. So both Dwyer and Carey have missed from relatively easy shots, but this really is the ball game. If North get this, they're right back in business. 30 metres out, straight in front. Drop punt by Dwyer. Looks okay. It is. And North Melbourne are coming home with a rush at 10-14 to 12-15.
And the pleasing thing about this is that North Melbourne really are showing some character in this last quarter. I was very critical of them in the third quarter because they really did appear to go missing, but they have come back in this last quarter. Perhaps Wayne Schimmelbusch had a few strong words to say to them at three-quarter time, but they really are, and you can sense it here now in the crowd. The crowd have gathered a lot of voice here, and we're in for a very tight last quarter.
13 points the difference. Nearly 16 minutes played in this, the last quarter. A free kick going in favour of North Melbourne. Michael Gallagher to take it. Looking for options. There was one from Steele, but he decided to go long with a kick. Carey behind. Collins bought the ground. A free kick should be paid, and it is. Against Wayne Carey, who was caught behind on that occasion. Good play by Andrew Collins to put himself between Carey and the ball. He was either going to take the mark or, as the case was, Carey had to infringe. Great play by the little fellow. He's played well today. Not much down the ground, but there was a lead from Anderson, but it just didn't find Anderson. And the ball, some 30 metres from where it came, is over the line. It'll be thrown in midway between the half-forward flank and centre wing. Members side. Spargo head down as he's done all day. Tail up. He's tried particularly hard today, Paul Spargo. A good player last week.
A very hot day today. This really will be the test of the fittest this last 10 or 15 minutes.
The ball bounced in the shadows. Carey there, Taylor. It's Hawthorn through Jenke towards centre half forward. There's no one there. Players running. Steele, a late inclusion. Plays on quickly. Good play across to Fairley. Can this be a build-up for North Melbourne? No, it's cut out well by Jarman. The skilled player goes left. Oh, what a magnificent pass. That was poetry in motion. That man was on the break, had enough composure, common sense, whatever it is that he does possess, to just steady. He spotted Dunstall, decided to go left on his left foot, and a beautiful kick. Jason Dunstall, a goal Hawthorn need as a breather. The ball high, and it's gone across the face of goal for their 17th point. North Melbourne still in with a chance. That's his 4th point for the day. 2-4 Jason Dunstall.
And Dean Anderson has come off the ground, and Alex McDonald has replaced him.
And Crocker once again in front, takes the mark. Played well today, Crocker. Beat Jarman earlier, now he's got Hudson. Goes towards centre wing, a high ball, a free kick for holding. It's going Carey's way. That was against Taylor.
From centre wing, Carey. Not a good kick. They'll need some luck here, Hawthorn. Gowers punched it away to Ayres. Back to Collins. To centre half forward. Brereton falling over. He's died out of the game, Brereton. He's kicked some important goals, though. Allen couldn't take it away. And Crocker over the top.
Good play then by Ian Fairley. He put himself back in and then threw himself on the ball just to hold it in. That was great play by Fairley.
So just under 10 minutes to go, and the margin 14 points. Fairly on screen. The man Don talking about. McDonald's come on for a Hawthorn, thumps it away, taken by Dennis, who's been pretty good, to German. German swings it wide. Dwyer in the box seat. Morrissey gave him a little push. No free kick. Morrissey back on it.
Oh, throwing the ball.
Well, that looked a throw, didn't it? But they got away with it. Gowers to Ayres. Hawthorn a bit lucky there. The kick to Paul Deer at half forward. He saw Platten, cleverly done, Deer.
Oh,
great tackle from the side. That tackle by Anning, and the free kick going to North Melbourne.
And Anning came from absolutely nowhere then.
So Dennis from half-back. That could have been a crucial bit of play by North Melbourne to hold Hawthorn up after they looked to be disadvantaged at the other end. Lawrence at the back, couple of big flyers. Taylor another one. Allison cleverly gets it out. Clarkson's caught and gone for holding the ball.
Good decision.
Yes, he went to ground as soon as he grabbed the ball, and Taylor over the top.
Taylor, who's come on at half-time, replacing Manigan at centre-half back for Hawthorn. Carey really did have a day out early in the game. Now Taylor. Spots McDonald. McDonald in turn. Across to Gowers. Now Gowers from 50 metres, a high ball. It's on its way. The distance not a problem. Accuracy is. And it's another point for Hawthorn. They're 17th. 12-17, 89 Hawthorn. 10-14, 74 North Melbourne. We've played 20 minutes into this, the last quarter. 15 points are different. North still in there with a chance.
These sides played a wonderful draw a few years ago. I wonder if we're heading in the same direction today.
Richard Dennis to bring the ball back in. He's done that most of the day today. Play on, says the umpire. Christian Anning towards centre-half forward. Dwyer. Carey taps it on to Rock. Can he trap it, Rock, on the 50-metre line? Chips it in towards Spargo. Well done, Paul Spargo. A great effort by Collins. But he was disadvantaged by his position on that occasion. Collins made a valiant attempt. And Paul Spargo, only eyes for the ball, has kicked two. 15 points the difference. His third goal could be very, very important for North Melbourne. Paul Spargo had a good day today. Ball on its way. Bad miss by the centreman.
It was a bad miss. It was a kickable distance, and it wasn't that acute angle.
So North have missed 3 shots for goal in this last term, all within about 35 metres, and they trail by less than 3 goals. So you don't have to be Don Scott to work out that. There's Langford, goes wide. Finds Morrissey. Goes up to the centre wing. In the front spot fairly. Brereton has died out of the game. Lack of fitness, you'd think. Still, Gowers just gave a little push off and got the advantage on Allison, and the ball runs out of play. But North Melbourne in attack need a goal within about a minute, you'd think. There's 7 minutes remaining, and North have got to kick 3 goals to win, so they've got to get one quickly to put added pressure on Hawthorn. Taylor, Rock over the back. Carey tries to break through. Gone. Couldn't do it. And it'll be a bounce down with North Melbourne at the edge of the centre square on their half-forward flank. A couple of kicks away from the goal. Taylor versus Carey. Taylor in the front spot. Carey very tired. Taylor able to take it out of the air. And that will beat Allen in still for a throw in at centre wing. So Hawthorn able to gain a few metres and some valuable seconds.
And Bruce, there's a lot of tired players out there now. It's been very hot here all day, and it really is a survival of the fittest out there at the moment.
14 points the difference. We've got just over 6 minutes left in this game. A high ball. Hawthorn content to see that ball over the boundary line. And the umpire will have to restart play midway between the half-forward flank and centre wing.
Paul Deer is coming off the ground, and Madigan is coming on. And he hasn't seen much football today, Madigan.
Taylor goes high towards centre wing. It's only Hawthorn there as Condon runs onto an easy one. Chip in towards Brereton. Just can't control it. Fairly in pursuit. Well done, Brereton. Back to Condon, but the umpire said that was a throw. And the umpires are at least being consistent today. They're actually red hot on this throwing.
And they're quite right. You can't move your hand and handball over your head like that without actually throwing the ball.
Not a good kick as far as North Melbourne is concerned, but good play by Taylor. He'll relieve for Hawthorn. Goes back in towards the centre. Not a good kick off the boot. Matthew Larkin. The captain's got something to do here. He does it. Trying to set it up. Allison on that trusty left foot. What can this fellow do? Nothing in advantage as far as advantage for North Melbourne. He spotted Jenke. And now Morrissey running off, providing options. Gallagher. Will he cut it out? He does. The big fella looks for a hand pass and gets it across to Steele. In turn goes back to centre half forward. Jenke coming over the back. Carey putting pressure on Collins. Dwyer in there. Jenke in hot pursuit. Collins. The ball underneath Dwyer, and the umpire's got no alternative but to come in and bounce it down.
In that situation, Dwyer really has to try as hard as he can to knock the ball free and create something out of that situation. German was down the field a little bit on his own, but it wasn't to be.
McCarthy up high. Collins taking out towards the outer. Lawrence. Gallagher there. Easily done by Lawrence, but cut out. No, it's not by Larkin. Now Steele. Chips it in towards centre half forward. German just can't match it. Throws the ball from underneath. That should be a throw. Play on, the umpire said. He's paid the advantage. Pritchard. Hand passes back to Platten. They miss it up, Hawthorn, but Pritchard on the recovery. Scrambles his kick towards the forward line. Dennis behind. Ball to ground. Martin. Platten running onto it. No one can control it. Dunstall, well done. Across to Allen. Should be bread and butter, but he doesn't do anything with it. Hooks the ball viciously to the left. And the ball is going to be restarted in North Melbourne's back pocket. Crocker to bring the ball in.
Time against the Kangaroos, though, with 3.5 minutes remaining. And Hawthorn with the numbers there. Lawrence, not a good option by Crocker in the end. Small North Melbourne player versus the big man for Hawthorn. Bangs it back to full forward. Dunstall had a run at the back with Hudson. Now Dennis, been pretty good today. Good play by Dennis. Sets Spargo up. He should be away. He's got to take a chance on Ayres here and take him right on, and he does. 2 bounces. Charges towards goal. An important one, McDonald versus Langford. Langford's free kick. McDonald hanging on.
It really was a poor kick in the end. He's kicked it to the Hawthorn player once again.
Well, North's had its chances in this final term and hasn't made the most of them. And you just guessed that they've played their last big option and it's come unstuck. Gowers to Condon, who goes very short to Brereton. Brereton, who's kicked 3 of Hawthorn's goals towards full forward, and that run going out of play. So the Hawks hanging on safely now at 12-17 to 10-15.
2.5 minutes left in this, the last quarter at the MCG. Been very trying conditions today. Temperature up around the 30-degree mark. And I pity the players who are out there on the ground. Gallagher and Brereton. Jenke punches the ball over the boundary line. And the Hawthorn camp would be very content with that piece of play by Ray Jenke. He's played well off the half-back line, deep in the forward line now, Jenke. And played a restart some 20 metres around from the Hawthorn goal. Brereton and Gallagher again to do the Ruckworth. 6 is Fairley. Nobody can really cleanly get it down. Rocks underneath. Well done by Brereton. Throws himself in. Larkin there as well. And the umpire to restart play by bouncing the ball down. Peter Cameron and
Don, and I was just watching Dean Anderson there on the bench. He appears to have been taken off for injury. He perhaps has hurt his groin, I think.
Hawthorn, a scramble kick out. Ball high. No one can bring it down or control it. Going in as Crocker. North Melbourne have got the numbers through Gallagher. Does it well for a big fellow. Out towards the back flank. And waiting there, a kick behind the play, Stephen Lawrence. Lawrence has held up remarkably well, seeing he hasn't played a game this year. Reported in last year's grand final. Play with a lot of skill. Out towards Fairley and Brereton. Nobody can really do it except Richard Dennis, who is content to kick the ball off the ground and see the ball over the boundary line. Players welcoming the piece of shade that they've got at the moment. There's not too much shade on this ground as Gallagher gets the hit out. Pritchard, a high ball back towards full forward. Dunstan using his body. Hudson, what can he do? A hand pass in the direction of Gowers. Can he trap it? Players coming from everywhere for North Melbourne. He gets his kick away. And he's kicked it. What a magnificent goal by Giles. Hawthorn, they've got the breather. Their 13th goal. 13-17, 95. North Melbourne, 10-15, 75.
Yes, that was a wonderful goal then by Andrew Gowes. A reverse punt on his left foot. It was also a great bit of play then by Darren Pritchard to get the ball forward. He didn't have enough space to put the ball onto his left foot. Kicked the reverse punt himself into the forward line.
Gallagher and Lawrence. Steele in front, pushed by Allen, but it's Pritchard. Eyes up for down forward. Dunstall on the lead, a great lead. They combine so well, Hawthorn. It's interesting when they get the ball, their eyes immediately looking for where they want to put it, and on that occasion, Pritchard held the ball, looked up, spotted Dunstall, and in front on that occasion, Jason Dunstall.
He's had a fairly quiet day today, though, Don. Martin has done a good job on him, as did Johnny Longmire in the first quarter. And that's Jason Dunstall's third goal for the day.
And Hawthorn starting to stretch this lead, 14-17, 101. North Melbourne, 10-15, 75.
At this late stage in the game, the players really are just going through the motions. It's been a very hot game here. They'll be exhausted at this stage of the game. And North Melbourne, although putting in a fine effort early in this quarter, have fallen away towards the end of the final quarter.
Well, there's actually 2 seconds left in this game. Peter Cameron will bounce the ball and then the siren will ring. So Hawthorn will run out easy winners as Gallagher gets the hit down, and there is the siren. A great third quarter by this Hawthorn side. They withstood the challenge by North Melbourne in the last quarter, then just went away at the end, kicking a couple of goals. The final score, Hawthorn 14-17, 101. North Melbourne 10-15, 75.